Are your cravings real? Or are you making your cravings bigger cravings by restricting yourself from eating your favorite food? My name is Dhaval Badesha. I'm a nutrition and lifestyle coach. I help busy professionals lose weight and improve health without painful exercise and diets. So, today we're going to talk about cravings and an interesting factor about cravings, which I discovered of late while I was trying to read different ways the social psychology works. So, I can see Pratik Rao joined. Hi, Pratik. Thank you. So, if you're joining me over here, just put it in the comment below chat and say hi while I describe cravings and I talk about it. If you have questions, start putting it your questions in the comment below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Hi Vikesh, thank you for joining. I can see Vikesh joining it over here. All right, so now let's talk about cravings. What is cravings? So cravings from the dictionary point of view means a very simple thing, which means a strong desire. Tanu Sharma join in. Hi. So if you think that there is a strong desire to do something, that's called craving. Shrikant join in. Hi Shrikant. So that is craving. And a lot of people get craving when they are trying to lose weight because they are in a restrictive diet. So if you're joining in, hi Namrata. A lot of people joining in. Hi. Thank you so much. So we are talking cravings over here. Now, so craving means a strong desire to do something, and it could be eating your favorite food. Now, even previously, when I've talked about cravings, I tell there are three types of cravings. One is a physical craving. Hi, Bhargavi. Second is mental craving, and third is an emotional craving. When I say that, what does it mean? When it's physical craving, your body needs food or nutrient, you will crave for it. Hi, Namrata. That's physical craving. Mental craving, what I say is it is related to time, place, person, or situation. Whenever that time, that person, that place, or situation comes in, you crave for a food because you relate that food to that particular time or situation. So that's mental craving. And emotional craving is related to emotions. Whenever you are probably stressed, you are excited, you are sad, you are happy, you relate that to a particular food and you crave for that food. So that's how the craving works. But today I'm going to talk about an interesting principle which I actually derived from social psychology, which is about scarcity principle. Okay, so there is a principle called scarcity. When things are available less, one, we want them more, and we actually like them more even if they are the same thing. Hi Kushal, thank you for joining. Hi Sunil. So that is very interesting thing that I learned. Now let me tell you how it worked. So there was an experiment done when two set of people were given a cookie jar. Okay, one set of people had only two cookies in a jar, and the other set of people had 10 cookies in the jar. So the people who had two cookies in the jar rated these cookies much more tastier, and they wanted it more. They liked it more and they craved for it more. People who had 10 cookies had the same cookies in the jar, but then they, wanted it less, and they also liked it comparatively less when the ratings came in. Now, here is the interesting twist. What the scientists did was they actually gave a 10 cookie jar to somebody, and then before he starts eating, they replaced the jar with a 2 cookie jar. So when you had ample access to your favorite food, and now that access is reduced to 1 or 2, and when that happened, people started liking cookies even more. They started craving for it even more. If you have ever experienced that, you wanted to eat something, you would normally not eat it, but because it is restricted, you feel like eating more. You can put it me in the chat box in the comment below, and I know that you've already kind of experienced that. So this is what happens with cravings, and here is how it works in real life. Okay, So if you are on a diet, if you are trying to lose weight, then obviously you are following a traditional meal plan method, which I don't believe in and we don't follow at Fit Life. But if you're following that, your meal plan does not have any of your favorite foods, and then you have that cheat day or a cheat meal that you crave for even more. And here is the interesting fact: it's not that the burger on a cheat day is tastier, but just because it was restricted, it is now more tastier and you start liking it even more. Now, here is an interesting thing that we do, okay, at Fit Life. When I talk to people, when I train them, when I coach them, we have no restriction on food. So there are no cheat days, there are no meal plans. We have permission and allowance to eat everything. And here is what happens: because you are not restricted, you actually end up eating the same thing less. Plus, if you add your mindfulness and other factors in, you actually don't crave for that food. You start eating healthy, so the physical cravings go down. And it works in a very, very positive way when you stop yourself from having that scarcity. So if you ever felt that, let me know. Or if you have any questions on that, you can put it in the chat box or the comment below, and I'll be more than happy to answer. I can see Manju over here. We have Gaurav. We have Kushbu, Anshul Kushbu. I don't know. We have Insi Jazz. We have Real Kishan. Thank you for joining in. Shrikant, Sunil, you are live here. If you have questions, put it in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to answer. So this is what psychology teaches us: our brain is more powerful than our body. And when we start looking at things and start restricting ourselves, we actually feel like we want it more, though we actually don't want it as much as we would normally want it. So that is how cravings works for you. So, what are your questions on craving? What do you crave for? And when you restricted that, how did that work for you? Even if you're watching this at a later time as a recording, you can put it in the chat box below. I'll be more than happy to answer and see that. I can see Krishna join in. Hi Krishna, thank you for joining. So yeah, I will open up for Q&A as well. So if you have questions, start typing in your questions here about health, about fitness, about cravings. We have Kushal live over here. Bhargavi is here. Namrata, Gaurav, Shubhra is here. We have Tanu. So all of you guys who are live, I can see a few more people joining in live. You have questions. I'm here to answer that question. And let me tell you another interesting fact while we wait for questions is that though there is this scarcity principle which makes you eat more, there is another more powerful principle which I learned from Dr. John Berardi, which he calls it as Berardi's first law. Is it's not about restricting yourself. The way I interpret that is, it's not about restricting yourself and not having a particular food. The thing is, keep it, have it, don't have restrictions around it. Just make it little less convenient and store it away from your eyesight. So you should not be, one, able to see it. Second, you should make it little more difficult to do. So for example, if you crave for chocolates, okay, don't put chocolate in a transparent jar. Put it in a jar which is opaque, and then put that jar in a corner of your kitchen or storeroom where you can't really see it every time. Okay, so in that case, you, one, will know psychologically that you are not restricted, so you will not feel bad about it. And second, you will, if you really want it, you'll be able to go and get it. So that's how you deal with that. It's one way of doing it. The other thing you can do about it is, even if you end up eating chocolate, try to eat 20% less than you normally would. Okay, you don't have to really cut down on it too much, so that again you start craving, saying that I'm getting only less. Just eat 20% less than you normally would. Eat it slowly, or any food that you actually eating, and have fun with that, right? So that's what you can try to do. I have one more question over here. Bhargavi, Dhaval, I have craving for sweets during nights. Is it harm my health if I eat sweets in night. So, Bhargavi, what we believe is that there is no food which is good, there is no food which is bad. We have Coach Arun over here. Thank you so much joining in, Coach. So, now the thing is, there is no food which is good, there is no food which is bad. It's about, are you eating it in moderation, and are you eating it based on how much your body needs? So when you talk about sweets, sweets are mostly made of carbs and fats. So if you are going to make it part of your plan, if you know that that is amount of carbs, amount of fat that is going to go in your body after dinner, then make space for that in your dinner. Does it answer your question? We have Vishnu joined in as well. Does it answer your question, Bhagavi? You can put it in the chat box if it answered your question. And if you're on YouTube and if you're on Facebook, you're asking questions, you can put it in the chat box as well. So that's how you do it. And here is where another, interesting quote comes in. People say, hearts grow fonder when they are apart. You start missing somebody or something when it is taken away from you. So that's again the principle of craving, right? Don't try to keep it too far away. Don't try to restrict yourself so much that you feel like you want it the most. Okay, make it normal. Give yourself that permission to go and enjoy that sweet, go and enjoy whatever food that you like, and do it. Bhargavi says thank you. So you got the answer, Bhargavi. I'm glad you got the answer. Anybody else? Any more questions over here? Just scrolling to see if I missed any questions in between. All right. So this is what cravings are really made of. Okay. It is very much played on a psychological level than on a physical level. So just see how you're planning for it and how you're actually playing with the principle of scarcity and how it is working for you. So if you are watching it recording, then put your questions in. I'll be more than happy to answer later. And yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, always feel free. Bhargavi says, I joined one fitness club recently. The world of upbringing joined in. Hi, how are you? We have Raj join in. We have Arjun join in. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. We are talking about cravings, how cravings take effect, and what is the psychological impact or the way it works on our mind rather than in reality. So yeah, any questions on cravings, feel free to type in over here and I'll be more than happy to ask. World of upbringing, Ela says, how are you? I'm doing awesome, Ela. Hope you're doing awesome as well. Now Bhargavi says, and they are asked me to replace wheat with bajra or rice. How is it true? Okay, interesting question. So the thing is, why do you want to do that? Okay, why are they asking you to replace wheat with bajra or rice? Bhagya Shriti Kale. Bhagya est Shriti Kale. Hi Bhagya. So Raj says how to avoid cravings for sugar. Nami 81 join in. Okay. So again, Bhargavi, understand and ask why do they want you to replace bajra, replace wheat with bajra or rice? What is the reason and how does it help you? That's number one. Second thing is, if you are replacing it, ask yourself this question: will you be able to do it all your life? Okay, will you be able to quit or replace your wheat completely and move into bajra? If the answer that you get is yes, you can try, but first try to understand why you have to do that, right? So get that answer for you. Raj says how to avoid cravings for sugar. Let me ask you this question, Raj. One, why do you want to avoid craving for sugar? Namrata, good question. My question is same. Do we really need to avoid cravings? Because if you look at it from the psychological point of view, when you are avoiding or restricting yourself, it's like feeding a monster by not feeding it. Imagine a monster that is in front of you. If you don't give food to that monster, it becomes bigger. Okay, so craving is a monster. If you don't feed that craving, it becomes bigger. Or at least if you don't tell your craving that I will not feed you, it becomes bigger. So what you got to do is you got to adopt an approach which is a multi-layer approach. Okay, number one, give yourself permission to eat your favorite food. Okay, that's number one. So you don't have to avoid it. So you're completely taking off that scarcity principle off, which is very very strong playing on your mind. Now that you have permission to do that, can you actually do that in moderation? Okay, can you reduce that particular thing by little? If you think you're craving for chocolate or ice cream, one, can you reduce the amount of chocolate or ice cream? That's the other thing that you can do. The third thing that you can do is, even if you are eating ice cream or chocolate, can you eat high quality, better quality, more nutrient rich chocolate or ice cream? That's how you change the quality of it. And then what you can also do is about now replacing that with the healthier versions. Say for example, you still have sweets. Can you have instead of white sugar you have jaggery or honey? Now that is not going to one make you lose weight by any means. It's just that you are getting a better quality nutrient. Does it answer your question in a way, Raj? Does it help you? Namrata as well. We have Aditi joined in. Hi Aditi, thank you for joining in. We have Viren joined in. Hi Viren. Divya, Kavita, thank you for joining us. What are the alternatives for sugar? As I told you, alternatives are multiple. You can have maple syrup, you can have honey, you can have jaggery, a lot of different types of sugar or brown sugar or whatever. But again, remember, just because you are replacing it doesn't mean it's going to help you lose weight. We have Preeti joined in. Hi Preeti, thank you for joining in. We're talking about cravings over here. If you have questions on craving, you can put it in the chat below. Right, you got it, Raj? Thank you. Namrata, did you get the answer to your question? Take stevia, says Divya. Try that. Yeah. Options are unlimited. It's just that understand why you are doing it. So, Anshul Khushbu. So, we can eat a food in moderate amount on every alternate day during the weight loss journey. Anshul, let me ask you a question. Why every alternate day? Why not every day? Why every alternate day? Why not every day? Namrata says, yes, I enjoy my cravings. Awesome, Namrata. Get fit with Malik. Thank you, Malik, for joining in. Hope you're doing well. So answer my question, Anshul or Khushbu, whoever it is. I don't know who it is, but why alternate day? Why not every day? I don't get satisfied with moderate servings. Okay, good. So let me ask you this question. Do you actually know what is satisfaction? Do you know where exactly you can reach your satisfaction level, Nami? I don't know, it's Namrata, whatever that full name is. I can't see that. So it says Nami81. I don't get satisfied with moderate servings. So answer that question for me, Anshul and Khushbu, the one that you asked. So why not every day? And Nami, one more question for you is, what food is that you don't get satisfied with? Tell me what food you don't get satisfied with. Namita. Okay, Namita. Yeah, Namita. What is the food that you don't get satisfied with? Lucky Rocking World. Hi, thank you for joining in. Anshul, you there? Kushbu? Anuja, Anuj AS or Anuja S. Hi Anuja, thank you for joining in. We're talking about cravings over here while you talk, you're dropping. And, I've talked about the psychological impact of craving and how it can actually make it even big. Now, so if you have questions on cravings, you can put it over here. We are here for next few more minutes. So, Namita, any serving which is little is very little for me. Okay, awesome. Now, the thing is, why do you have to eat little? Okay, let me tell you, you got to eat how much your body needs. It's not about eating less. Now, there are multiple factors which are important when it comes to losing weight and eating to keep that weight off. Okay, I prefer eating big servings, that too just thrice a day. Now, define big. Okay. Yeah. And if you're not satisfied with small servings, you like big servings, what is the problem? What is there? Whereas all diet foods are prescribed little more often. What is that you are trying to achieve, Namita? What is that you are trying to achieve? Not all. At Fit Life, we don't even talk about number of meals. If Namrata is live over here, Namrata can be a live example over here. We have Dharmesh join in. Hi Dharmesh, thank you for joining in. So in Fit Life system, we don't even talk about number of meals, Namita. So not all. A lot of people talk about 6 small meals, but that's fine. What is that you are trying to achieve? What is the goal? Weight loss. Awesome. Now, in order to achieve your weight loss, you got to understand one, why you are eating, learn to understand whether it is physical or an emotional or a psychological hunger. Two, you need to learn how to eat slowly and mindfully. Three, you need to learn how to get satisfied without eating too much. And four, you need to learn how to balance your meals with protein, vegetables, carbs, fat, all of these. Hitu Gajar joined. Hi Ten, thank you for joining. Does that help you give your direction, Namita? Right? It is not about eating less. Eating less, if eating less was helping people, everybody would have been healthy by now. Everybody would have lost weight. 3 meals are enough for our body, says Namrata. Yeah, for some it is three, for some it is two, for some it is one. Whatever works for you, right? You got to identify what works for you. There is no one size fits all. Amazing. Awesome. So, did we miss out on any other questions? Looks like no. Okay. Awesome. So you got the direction. And if you haven't joined, here is an open invitation. Okay. Join in the 5-day boot camp for Fit Life, and you will learn a lot in terms of how to handle your hunger and fullness clues. I love you, Namita, but calculating your macros every other meal is not practical. Absolutely. Have you joined my uh, have you joined my 5-day bootcamp, Namita? Let me ask you this question. Okay. Because obviously what I can teach in 5 days, I can't teach you here in five minutes or 30 days, 30 minutes. Have you joined a 5-day bootcamp? Yes or no? It's absolutely okay if you have not joined. You don't want to join, that's fine. You did my boot camp. You did my boot camp. Did you learn how to eat slowly? Did you learn how to eat? It was super fast for me. Okay. We asked you to slow down. right? Okay, we asked you to slow down. Okay, so if you actually understood the principles, if you made note of principles that I teach in the 5-day boot camp, most of your questions are taken care of. So I was consulting Namrata for my simple video. Oh, Namrata is here. She knows. Calculating macros. We don't calculate macros for every meal. Okay, we don't, right? It's just about one, building a healthier version of the plate, and second thing is taking a step by step approach. You cannot achieve everything in a day. Okay, you will have to give yourself time to do one thing, one step at a time. Take a second step, take a second step, and move step by step. This is how it really works. Okay, so you will not get it overnight. It will take some time, and you got to give yourself that time to learn and build the skills that are needed. All right. Any other questions? Anybody else who's got questions? Before we close in, we are almost coming to the end of the live session. So we're closing in quick. Awesome. Looks like no more questions. So thank you so much for joining in. We talked about craving today. So if you're joining in late, uh, you know, just watch the video from the beginning as soon as the recording is available, and you understand what are the types of craving, how do I how to handle cravings, and how to get forward with that. So before I go, I see one question from Dharmesh which says, yes, it takes time but fruitful. Absolutely. How do I know when I'm hungry? So this is what you got to understand. What does hunger mean to you? Does it mean that you feel headache? Does it mean that you feel giddy? Does it mean that you feel irritated? Does it mean that you feel growling in your stomach? Identify what are the hunger signals that your body gives you, because not everybody feels hungry same way, right? So that is what you got to work on, to identify what are your hunger signals, and that's what we talk about in the 5-day boot camp as well, Dharmesh, right? So you got to identify. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Good night. Have a nice time. Appreciate you being over here, and hope that answered your question. Yes, Dharmesh. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much for joining in. Good night, and I will.